Alright, for question number 5, we are going to simplify complex fractions like this. Okay, so let me just rewrite the question again. I have x minus 5 over x squared minus 4. And then a big fraction bar. X to the third power minus 3x squared minus 10x over x minus 2. What we're going to do first is to factor everything if possible. And I'm going to label this as my first one. Okay, this is the first one I'm going to look at, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. If we take a look at the first one, x minus 5, it's already done. There's nothing that we can factor. Okay, and now let's look at the second one, x squared minus 4. And this is x to the second power. Whenever we have something to the second power, you should try, think about how you can break this down, how you can factor it. In this case, this is exactly a difference of two squares. X to the second power minus the 4 can be looked at as 2 to the second power. So we can write this as x plus 2 times x minus 2. Then that will be the factor for this. For the third one, we have x to the third power minus 3x squared minus 10x. That looks like, again, we can also factor it, of course. Even though it's x to the third power, but everything has an x. So we can first factor out the x. Then I will have x to the second power left inside for the first term. Minus 3. Originally I have x to the second, but I took one out already. So I have 3x, negative 3x. Negative 10x right here, minus 10x right here, the x is already out, so I have minus 10. Okay? I took out the x already. Then I have x on the outside. The inside here, I can factor it as well. So let's get ready by putting the parentheses, two parentheses. Think about what times 12 will be x squared. Of course, that's x and x. And think about what numbers, think about two numbers, when they multiply, they equal negative 10. And when you add them, they become negative 3. And the correct combination will be negative 5 and positive 2. It doesn't matter where you put a plus 2 or the negative 5. Doesn't matter. The plus 2 or the take away the subtract 5. Doesn't matter. Okay, so that will be the correct factor for the third one. And then for the fourth one, x minus 2. It's already done as well. Okay? So what we're going to do after we factor it is this. We have choices actually. So let me just rewrite it. X minus 5 on the top over x squared minus 4. Right? That is going to be replaced by this. X plus 2 times x minus 2. And the big fraction bar. Right? This big fraction bar. To handle this big fraction bar, we have two ways. And let me just show you the first way. The big fraction bar means to have to divide. Right? We can divide. Divide by what? Divide by the bottom, this one. This one. Right? The bottom here. And we have the third one, which is this. I'm going to write it as x parentheses x minus 5, x plus 2. X minus 5 times x plus 2. And then over, on the bottom right here I have x minus 2. So that's still right here, x minus 2. And how do we divide two fractions? How do we divide two fractions? You keep the first fraction, x minus 5 over x plus 2 times x minus 2. You change the division to a multiplication, and then take this and then make it upside down. Right, switch, bring the bottom x minus 2 to the top. Make it x minus 2 to the top. Over, bring down the top to the denominator. X minus 5, x plus 2. And then, let's see if there's any way that we can cancel things out. If there's anything that we can cancel. Notice that on the top, even though I have x minus 5, even though there's no parentheses originally, but there's like invisible parentheses, okay? There's invisible parentheses around the x minus 5, and also invisible parentheses around the x minus 2. We can cancel out parentheses because they mean to parentheses means multiply, and we can cancel out factors when we simplify fractions. So I see that x minus 5, this one can be cancelled with this x minus 5. One top and one bottom. This x minus 2 can be cancelled with that x minus 2. Cancel, cancel. Then, on the top, I have nothing left, so I think that's pretty much it. But even though I have nothing, but technically I have 1 left. I have a 1 on the top. So I have 1 over, and I just need to put all this together. I have an x on the outside, so let me write that down first. And then I have 2 of this, right? X plus 2 times x plus 2. And that's exactly x plus 2 raised to the second power. And that's it. That's the answer. So that's the answer for this. This is the simplest that we can get to. Okay? And let me talk about another way to do it. Another way. So I'm just going to write down the same question. Originally we have x minus 5 over x squared minus 4, big fraction, x to the third power minus 3x squared minus 10x over x minus 2. Again, we have to factor everything whenever it's possible. So the x minus 5 stays the same. And we did that earlier, and this one we get x plus 2 times x minus 2, right? And then over this one was x times x minus 5 times x plus 2 over x minus 2. One way to simplify complex fraction. Complex fraction means when you have too many fractions. I have one on the top, and then the second one on the bottom, and then the third one, the big one. To simplify complex fraction is to multiply the top and bottom by the lowest common denominator. And notice that, in put parentheses first, I have x plus 2 times x minus 2 right here, and I have x minus 2 right here. What we're going to do is multiply the top and bottom by this, x plus 2 and x minus 2. And you will see this will work out nicely. X plus 2, x minus 2. The x minus 2 is already in common, so that's why I just write it down once. And this one is something that we need, right? The extra things that we need. So let me put it down right here. Okay, let's see what we get. If we multiply this top and bottom, notice that the numerator x, the denominator of the top fraction, okay, this right here cancels out exactly with that, right? This and that cancels out. So on the numerator, I just get x minus 5. Over, on the bottom, let's see, the x minus 2. So I'm just kind of just looking at like that only. Okay, I hope you guys can see the shadow. I just want to cover this. The x minus 2 will cancel with that x minus 2. Okay, I'm not looking at the top fractions anymore, just the bottom fraction like this. Cancel this and that will leave me with x, parentheses x minus 5, parentheses x plus 2, and then another x plus 2. And let me make the fraction bar longer. And then I see that now we just have a regular fraction. X minus 5 on the top is by itself, and I can put a parentheses around it. Then this x minus 5 with that x minus 5, they cancel each other out. So we get, even though there's nothing, but there's a 1 on the top. There's a 1 on the top. 1 over, I have the x on the outside, I have x plus 2 times x plus 2. Together, I can write this as x plus 2 raised to the second power. Same answer. Same answer. It's either you multiply the top and bottom by the lowest common denominators. Okay, the lowest common denominators. Or you could just change the big fraction bar into a division. And then when you have dividing a fraction, change the division to a multiplication, and then just flip the second one. Make this, bring the denominator up, and then bring the top to the bottom, and then cancel things. Either way, but the key is factoring. Factoring is the key. Okay? And then show you guys one more time. Just depends on which method that you want, which method that you like, or which method that you like to use better.